welcome to the Merry Monday Mail Call Show. It's Sunday here in Charlotte, North Carolina, but it's always Monday at this time in Australia. So it's a Merry Monday Mail Call for me, so it'll be a Merry Monday Mail Call for you. Welcome to the show. It's the end of Heroes Con. I'm actually quite sad. Just left the show floor for the last day. Completely ran out of time. Didn't get any opportunity to do as much digging as I would have liked. Came away with a few books, and most of those have been submitted through to CGC. I have a whole batch to share with you, probably when I return at some point. But for now, I've got some interesting stuff to take you through, and my thoughts and wrap up of Heroes Con 2025, and how much fun it was. Seeing all of the community out there, seeing everyone that sort of stopped me and said hello. Met a whole host of new people, met a lot of new industry folk, and hopefully there'll be some great new content coming out from that as well. So I'm not sure where to start today, but perhaps I'll start with what happened last night. So last night, before you would have noticed from the live stream last night, I was going to a John Romita Jr. Session where he was signing books for a group of group sessions, and essentially you'd get a nice piece of artwork, and then you'd also get 10 books or so. They were submitted successfully to CGC today, but I wanted to share with you the piece of art, not original art. This one, I'll save the original art for perhaps a members stream, back to the drawing board. And we'll talk through those pieces there. But he did do a couple of really nice pieces for me. I may grab them, actually. I'll do that. I'll grab them, because I did put them on Instagram, as you may or may not have seen. But he did do these prints and signed the prints for us whilst there. So there you have it. The Spider-Man. I think it looks not better upside down. Maybe because I'm Australian. That's probably why. But it's a great pose of Spidey, and I keep turning it upside down, but that's how it's supposed to be. Now, one of the 60 people that were at those sessions will be winning the full page of original art for this. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I may still win that, but the fact that I haven't heard anything, I think the session's actually on now, the Sunday session, so hopefully someone gets this beautiful piece. So very good. A very amazing piece. I am going to quickly, let's go through the rest of the stuff first, and then I'll grab that, or maybe save it for another live at some point. One of the things I also wanted to share, I've got my project book, which some of you might know about. This is the Marvel Fumetti book, and as I say, I met up with Ralph Macchio on the first day, on the Friday, and he signed. He's just there, struggling underneath the weight of the rest of the bullpen, and he very kindly signed that. But today I managed to meet another bullpenner who signed on the inside, who wasn't around on the day when the cover photo happened, but I met, I don't know if you can see that, Danny Fingeroth, who's on that page there. So added him to the mix, so that was a really good one. But before I get into the real juice of what our conversation, I'll share who's in the comments. So we have, congratulations, and brand new member, Action Jackson. Great to have you as a member. Welcome, and thanks for joining. As you all know, members do get exclusive live streams, the mega members mail call show, and we also do a monthly sketch giveaway for members, and we do a sketch show as well. And then on top of that, these creator interviews, which is quite interesting when you consider we're going to be hopefully getting some new creators, which I've met this week. So welcome, Action Jackson. What's also interesting is all memberships generated from the channel go to the Hero Initiative, who was well in attendance at Heroes Con this year, and leads quite nicely soon enough into the art auction which was on last night, which again was a hell of a lot of fun and met a lot of people there. So if you do join the memberships, we'll be going to the Hero Initiative. So thanks, Action, for joining. We also have Ronnie Johnson. Fun to get a fly on the wall with a few of you there through your videos live cast. Looks like everyone had a great time. We did welcome Ronnie, and yes, it was a fantastic time. It's gets bigger every year in terms of the attendance from all the fellow YouTubers. So again, I think it's the show that everyone comes to, and as again, it is the best comic convention, literal comic book convention. There are so many dealers, and it's almost there's almost too many. It takes forever to go through each and every single one of them. I had to go back to a couple of them and re-dig because it was just so confusing. But there is a video coming about on all of the dealers that I've managed to visit and some of the interesting stuff I found as we go through. Silver Spidey's here too. Hello, hello, welcome. So back to my story on Danny Fingeroth. As I say, met up with him today, signed the book. So that's another one to tick off the list. But he did have these really interesting pieces of original Fumetti art on his desk. And I looked and asked, are they available for sale? Because you've got Louise Simonson there, you've got Bruce Jones in the photos, but Danny took the photos. And so he had the original art still in his hands, and you can see it's acetate over the photos, the original photos. They're glued onto the page. A couple of them have come away, but I just thought that was a super interesting thing. I'm a big fan, obviously, of the Fumetti book, and so it just felt like the right thing to pick that up and have a couple, not just one. I had a couple of these that basically was able to obtain from Danny. He very kindly let me purchase them. So they were really good. They're apparently from Kazar Volume 2, Issue 19, I think. Yes, Issue 19. So I'm going to be hunting that down. I ran out of time to try and pick one up for today's show, but I will be hunting one of those down at a comic shop when I get a chance. Which I think it'll be a nice little addition to have these side by side. But absolutely nice little piece. Gives a really great insight in how Marvel did these Fumetti books as well. So very happy to have picked those up, and nice little piece of history. And I think these went on the back cover, so they're a little bit of editorial. But it's fascinating to see. There's Louise. Let's grab her in the shot. Louise Simonson there. There's Bruce Jones. And then there's another great photo of them both at the bottom there. So just a fascinating little piece of history there from the bullpen. I thought that was a really great one for me to share with you. So yes, as of last night was at the art auction, which they hold with all the proceeds going to the Hero Initiative. So again, it was a great, I really wanted to go to that and show my support, and also just see all the great art. So they commission artists during the show, and they donate pieces essentially to the auction, and they can go for silly numbers. But I'll be doing a video on it soon enough. But again, it was very, very well attended, very, very sort of raucous event, but fantastic pieces of art that were up for grabs. But yes, it was just a fantastic time. I caught up with West Coast Avengers there, as well as on the show floor. But yeah, most of the YouTubers were also there as well, just enjoying the event. And some people picked up some art, which is great. Now, Richard's here in the house. Hello, Richard. Great to see you, mate. In addition to the art auction, we also had our event where we had a meetup. And I was very kindly donated some little trinkets from various folk in the community. My first one, which I find absolutely hilarious and super happy to get this, was from JSS Brooklyn, John, who very kindly gave me a pair of gloves because he insists that I need to wear these when I'm handling my book. So there's this, and he very kindly gave me a page turner. in order to maintain and preserve my books, which I will do. And I thoroughly enjoyed that very kind joke. And I will be trying to wear these more often and page turn, particularly when I'm doing the overhead camera. And then on top of that, he gave me this little thing, which I thought was an absolutely fascinating and beautiful thing. The story goes that Diamond Comic Distributors, for their annual Retailers Summit on June the 5th to the 8th, 1993, they gave away a commemorative diamond, in brackets, ring, which was essentially, I think there was 1,150 of these made with the X-Men logo, and you can see it here. So yeah, it's just a fascinating little piece of comic book history, and this one's number 205, so it's made of sterling silver. So fantastic little thing, little sort of piece of history there that I thought was just a wonderful, wonderful, thoughtful gift from John from JSS Brooklyn. So really enjoyed that. That was very nice to catch up with John. In addition, Kmart Comics was at the show, at the auction, and came up to me out of the blue, and it just literally came up to me out of the blue and was like, I want to give you these, and I've seen these on other shows. And again, if you haven't checked out Kmart Comics site, he does these amazing t-shirts using sort of vintage Marvel stuff. But there's a mighty Merry Marvel Marching Society Wants You t-shirt with the thing there. I won't take it out of the bag just yet, but awesome gift and thoughtfulness there in terms of that. And on top of that, you get one of these Spidey corner boxes too. Absolutely fantastic. So a couple of those, I will be wearing those on a future live stream. So thank you very much for that. As I say, check out Kmart Comics. In addition to John's other gifts, one of the things he did, he's managed to find me a Deities and Demigods, the first edition of, it's a bit beat up, but I don't care because it contains the material that was removed from future printings, and I'll just find it for you now. There was the Cthulhu mythos that was printed in here and then subsequently removed, and I think there's the yep, here we go, the Melnibonian mythos. So those two are normally not in the reprintings, and these are very, very hard and scarce to find. So very thoughtful again from JSS Brooklyn. Another friend of the channel, Gary Sassaman from Tales from My Spinner Rack. Here his amazing pamphlet with all of his tales thus far. So if you haven't checked out his channel, please go and do so. And he shared with me this book, which is another of those San Diego Comic Con programs, with this stunning wraparound Jim Lee cover, which Gary worked with Jim Lee on to bring to life, and he's done a fascinating video on it. So if you haven't, go to his channel and check it out, because it's a really interesting piece of Jim Lee doing all characters from Marvel, DC, and Independent. So very, very thoughtful gift again from Gary. So really happy to get that. As I say, we've got Richard Restfall in the house. Hi Richard, great to see you. And then Silver Spidey, what's it like taking items out and back into Australia? Any challenges with the ABF? Always wondered if you need customs when you're taking items with you. I think when you're taking, so most of my stuff ends up in CGC. So it's personal items going and then coming back. So I don't know if that's an issue. And then basically comic books, unless you've got a big book, it's pretty much not going to go above the limit. So yeah, I think it's like you just either be honest, and if you've bought something that is over that limit, you they're generally, in my experience, they're generally very good if you like, if you're open and honest, and I think that's just the way to be, right? So yeah, it's never really been an issue. And as I say, bringing stuff into the US and then having it shipped back in, it's also fine because it's your actual product. There's no sale going on, right? So, okay. Now I did mention the community, and I wanted to share this because this is my graffiti book now. So generic comic book. It's full to the brim of comic YouTubers, as you can see here. So this only had a handful of names on there, but we had an event on the Friday night where everyone met up and a lot of people got to sign the book. So you can see here there's a lot of channels on here. I'm going to post this on Instagram at some point and try and leave links to all of the channels mentioned on the book here, but you get a real sense of the different YouTube channels that were here. And as I say, I'll send a link and link to the channels down below when I get around to editing the description. But I thought that was a wonderful way to end the event by getting everybody to sign that was in attendance. So this now has gone to WonderCon in Anaheim, California, and it's also gone to Heroes Con. So when the next con comes, this will be coming too, and if there's any new names, they'll be added to this comic book. And before we close out, talking of the comic book community, I wanted to bring your attention to this. This is the Comics Curing Cancer art book that was released for Heroes Con and was on sale. You can still go to the Comics Curing Cancer website and order the book. It's full of fascinating, beautiful artwork, all themed around fighting cancer. And I will take it out of the bag so it doesn't sort of sparkle too much. But look at this. This is a cover by, I think it's David Sanchez. Yeah, let me just double check. David Sanchez cover. Yep, David Sanchez cover of the Incredible Hulk with that ribbon. Just beautiful piece of art there. So that's the first one. I think it's around $25, which, as I say, all the proceeds for that go to Comics Curing Cancer. And again, I'll leave a link down below for that. But the one I really liked, and they had a con exclusive, which was this foil variant of Silver Surfer and Galactus by Christopher Lockwood. Beautiful looking image there, very striking, and there are only 25 of these made. So pick that up. There may be some still available on the website. I'd double check. And I think the event in October, which is when the Comics Curing Cancer event usually is held, there may be some held over potentially to be bid on in the auctions that they have there. But wanted to share that with you as well. So if you haven't already, go to Comics Curing Cancer, either the Instagram page, check it out, donate, or find so you can pick up one of the art books. So thought that would be good to share with you. And then lastly, there's loads more. I keep forgetting. Mike from Lunch Money Comics kindly gave me one of his shirts, which is great. I thought that was very, very thoughtful. So thank you, Mike, for doing that. One of the nicest fellows on YouTube and in the comics community. So big shout out to Mike. Looking forward to seeing his video. And last but not least, from Will Vlogs, Blogs basically gave me this blank cover to do something with. Not sure how I'm going to do that just yet, or what I'm going to put on there, but gave me a copy of American Vampire 1976 to do some art on. So I will be doing that, and then I will work out what I'm going to do in terms of, I will probably give it back to Will, do him a nice little piece of art on there. So thanks for that, mate. Sandin McNear. Hi from Ohio, USA. We have GalaxyCon here in December. I have to work. Oh, for GalaxyCon. Oh, that's a shame. I don't know. I've never been to Ohio, so I should look that one up. But great to have you, Sandy, and nice to see you on the stream. And Richard, of course, is throwing all the links. There's Comics Curing Cancer for you, and there's Mike from Lunch Money Comics. So thanks for doing that, Richard. Fantastic. So, as I say, I went to CGC today. That was the big big part of the day, going and grabbing as much, getting and submitting as many books as possible. And I ended up picking up as well 3 books that I had submitted earlier in the week for on-site grading. So just in terms of the books that I submitted, there was that 10 books for, there were to the 10 books that I had from Chris Claremont, they were going in. There's the 10 books from John Romita Jr., there was the Secret Wars books that I talked about, and there were a couple of others like DC Comics Presents 26, signed by Jim Starlin, which is the first appearance of New Teen Titans, and on top of that, I also got submitted my commission. But the other thing that I was able to do was pick up those said books that I had submitted at the beginning of the week, and you would have probably seen now. So the first one, and I've just revealed the grade like a dithering idiot. The first one was Marvel Tales, featuring Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham. I think it's the first appearance of Spider-Ham. In addition, you get the first appearance of Hulk Bunny and Captain. Is it Captain America? Captain Americat. And you also get the Goose Rider. So I submitted this. It was a really high grade book. Came back a 9.4. So I'm reasonably happy with that. I would potentially, would love to have a 9.8 in this. But still a great book to pick up and have in the collection. Nice, crazy animals, anthropomorphics. So yeah, I was super happy to pick that one up today and get a bit of a success with that. My second book of the day that came in was a huge surprise. Now, for those of you who know comic books, you will find that Charlton books are not well regarded for their quality of paper or lasting very long. And the light's just gone off, but that's fine. But what they do, the paper's terrible. And so I got a copy of the 1978? No, 1976. This is a copy of, if we can get the light out from there, that's better. This is a copy of Space 1999 issue 4, featuring John Byrne art and a John Byrne cover, early John Byrne. And this is a Charlton book. It was in great condition, and we did manage to get a 9.8 on a Charlton book. Very, very happy with that. You do not get or find many Charlton books at that grade, so very happy with that grade. So that's going in the PC. I have an undercopy which is a 9.6, so that may be going on to a claim sale or up for grabs, or may even go to another friend of the channel, Mr. Aitkins, not Tales from My Spinner Rack. What's on my comic rack? Keep making that mistake. The last one of the day, and probably the one to close the stream. Before we say goodbye, though, I will say hello to Rick Watson. It was great seeing you on the JW Hotel out on the 17th floor. Great Heroes Con. It was great to see you too. Thank you for joining, Rick. And welcome to the channel. And of course, Richard's dropped the line we all know and love. Did someone say John Byrne TM? And again, if you haven't already, we hung out with Mr. Aikens on the show floor a little bit today as well. So if you haven't already, check out his channel as well. As I say, it's What's on the Comic Rack, not Tales from My Spinner Rack. But what I do have for you is the last book of the day before we close the stream. I picked up a copy of Neil Adams' signed issue 233 of Superman. Classic, iconic cover with Superman breaking through the kryptonite chains. I do have a Bill Sienkiewicz swipe of this with Warlock, which is what's piqued my interest in this book historically. But when I saw that I could get a Neil Adams signature with it, it was a bit of a no-brainer. I had viewed that this book wouldn't get such a high grade, and a couple of people had sort of given me advice that it might be around a 6 to a 7.0. What did CGC give this book as a grade? Yep, it's a fabulous 9.2. So absolutely stoked with that. And the label goes beautifully with that stunning cover that you can see here. I'm trying to angle it so you get a better look. There you go, much nicer. Let me remove Richard's comment. There you go. But yeah, super happy to get that. Like, just a massive surprise when I opened it up from CGC 9.2. That is a great grade to get for this book, and it is a super hard book to get as well. So very happy with that. And as I say, before we leave the show today, I will check out the last couple of comments from a few friends in the chat. John has joined us as well. I enjoy your effervescent energy and positivity. I'm glad you had a great time. Will you have a video showcasing the Floor Dealers comic booths? Yes. So what we will be doing, I have got all the footage ready to go. There's a few things I need to do. I've got a couple of days before I head back. And so I'm going to use that time to try and get as much of that done and get it out as soon as possible. And I will be taking a break at the end of next week for a couple of weeks, but I have lined up some content, so it won't just be complete. But I might not be doing, in fact, I won't be doing live streams next week or the week after. But we will be doing long form videos. So unfortunately, this will be the last show for a little while. Or live show anyway, but when we get back, I think the second week in July, we'll be doing some more lives, and we'll be doing the members lives as well. So look forward to seeing you all there, and stay tuned for the content coming out of HeroesCon. There's a lot to share with you that I haven't necessarily covered off in the lives as well, but a great show all round. As I say, I still maintain this is the best comic convention in the world, and it's just a fabulous place to meet up with all the other community folk, and also just see all of the dealers, all the creatives, all of the people in comics that we know and love. So it's been a fabulous time. I've absolutely enjoyed it. I want to say thank you to everyone for who definitely came up and said hello, and all of the comic book YouTubers who made the whole weekend. So thanks everyone. It's been an absolute joy being here. Wish me luck heading home, and those of you that are traveling back from Heroes as well, safe travels for you too. And with that, I will close the show, and I'll see you hopefully very soon. Take care everyone.